It's helped products, projects and companies get off the ground. As Zella Chin reports, financial backers should beware of the pitfalls.
Gene Su is a self-confessed gadget geek and loves cutting-edge products. 3 years ago, he started making online contributions to help companies with a good idea develop products he liked. The process is called crowdfunding.
Yes, I'm just attracted to the whole idea of people getting their ideas funded through people who want their products.
He's backed almost 20 projects. It usually involves a small amount of cash. The company developing this photo frame has a branch in Hong Kong. It wanted $99 per frame.
And I think it's a great idea for a digital photo frame to be streaming Instagram photos.
So Gene paid $239 for two in September 2012. All the transactions were completed over the internet. Easy. The company needed $250,000 to make the frames for its backers. The response was so good, it raised more than $620,000 in the campaign. The estimated delivery date was March 2013. But then things went wrong.
And I realized that there's a problem, that when I received an update, they are informing us that they have used up the money. So my initial reaction is like, what happened? Like, why they raised phenomenal amount of money. I mean, $600 over $1,000 is a lot of money. I mean, that could, last a long time, like for a team.
Other backers were also angry. The news out of the company got worse.
I'm here to tell you about a really cool product we have today called...
Stranger still, the managing director of the company was pitching for more money 9 months after the delay. Gene felt it was obvious the company hadn't been managing their cash properly.
They should not have to raise external financing to finish the whole process. I'm very surprised that the crowdfunded investments was not enough to deliver the product to the hands of the customers.
I caught up with Larry Tsai for his side of the story.
The amount of time we spent into the development of the marketing, frankly, was what really blew our budget. Product development is not just about creating the engineering and manufacturing. You have to actually create a market around it and build a brand. A lot of that cost we didn't factor in the beginning.
You guys screwed up.
We made a mistake on the initial forecast. Every startup's going to need additional rounds of funding beyond their initial launch.
He says the additional capital he's raising is for software development. Larry estimates deliveries will start in March. The one bad experience hasn't discouraged Gene from backing projects, although he has learned some lessons.
I would really not take the estimated delivery time as seriously as I did before. I would just think that, okay, I probably would give them double the time for the delivery to come through the door.
Software developer Richard Cohen is an avid crowdfunder. He's backed 15 projects ranging from books to gadgets. In December 2012, he spent $50 on a brand new toy created by a Hong Kong company.
It's a games controller for playing games on your phone and your tablet. And the idea is it slides open and can be used at different sizes. So you can use it with bigger phones and smaller phones and iPhones and Android phones and smaller tablets.
So you just stick the two sides onto the phone?
Yeah, it sticks in the middle.
So why did you invest in the game controller?
It seemed like a fun toy. At the same time I invested, I met the guys and I saw they had a prototype.
Delivery was supposed to be in April 2013.
Apple released new software for games controllers in the middle of the year, and they decided to work with Apple's newer software, which meant that they just delayed them 6 months, pretty much just doing that. And I don't use an iPhone, so I don't care whether it supports Apple stuff or not. It would have worked 6 months ago with my phone, but they haven't shipped it. Yeah, I'd like a refund at this point, because I have other things I could use in the meantime. I've kind of lost interest. And they've said, basically, we don't have money to give out as a refund. We're going to deliver the product sooner or later and wait.
Richard invested through the U.S. crowdfunding platform, Kickstarter. He hoped it could help.
Now, the Kickstarter rules basically say the agreement is between you and the project. They have to give an estimated shipping date. If they miss the shipping date, there's no kind of advice, no kind of guidance on what that means, whether it's a month or a year. What point does it become that they're not fulfilling their promises?
This lawyer says the contract was with a local company, so there are existing Hong Kong laws that provide consumer protection.
There ought to be a contract, oral or written, regarding what the bargain, what you would give, what you would get. So contracts generally are enforceable in Hong Kong. There's the uplift of the trade description ordinance. So if someone misleads you, misrepresented, you could sue.
If you're backing products on overseas platforms, this lawmaker says crowdfunding is like gambling.
I would advise that you would, if you want to get that particular product and you're willing to bet the money, and I emphasize the word bet or gamble, then go do it. But otherwise, don't think that it's so easy to find somebody else to help you get your money back.
One study says it's common for projects to be delayed. Researchers found 75% of successful Kickstarter crowdfunding campaigns delivered the product 8 months after the original deadline, and 3.6% failed altogether.
Experts estimate there are about 7 crowdfunding platforms in Hong Kong. I'm in Sherwin to meet with an owner of Hong Kong's latest. It's an equity platform where backers put money into startups in return for a financial stake.
James Giancotti used to work as an investment banker and is an experienced angel investor. He and his partner launched the website in December.
My crowdfunding platform allows startups to raise between $25,000 and $100,000 for 5 to 20% equity, respectively. It allows investors to invest up to whatever they feel is comfortable on multiple startups. So you're a one-stop shop for every question and answer that someone may have.
Startups that want to be listed on James's crowdfunding site go through a due diligence process.
But in Hong Kong, tell us a bit about that. Who are your competitors, or in Asia as well? That's where we look at interviewing the founders, we look at the application or the business per se. We look at how much work has been done, and particularly how much work needs to go into their actually investor ready.
Only 10% of the startups make it through the process and are posted onto the site. For example, the startup is looking to sell a 20% equity stake in a future company for $100,000. Nick thinks the Securities and Futures Commission would see the equity platform as a collective investment scheme.
Essentially, it's a arrangement where people come together in relation to a certain property, and people agree to invest, and you agree on who and how to share the returns.
No, we're not a collective investment scheme. We are a platform to connect the startups and the investors.
It's an offense to market a CIS without an SFC license.
If they want to be marketing this kind of opportunities, CIS, they likely need a Type 1 license. If they need to advise people on the license, they probably need a Type 4 or on the securities. Also, terms and conditions of that particular project investment may need to be pre-authorized by the SFC.
The SFC said it doesn't comment on specific cases, but James said the SFC was asking them questions to learn more about equity crowdfunding.
We're not actually working with securities, we're working with ideas per se. So we actually sit outside the area, which is where a lot of the SFC rules do apply.
That to me seems, again, another attempt by this company to try to get around dealing in securities. I would say the authorities might not take to it too lightly.
Companies that violate these SFC regulations face fines of as much as 5 million Hong Kong dollars and jail time. Nick offers this bit of advice for investors who want to get into equity crowdfunding.
Obviously, do your due diligence. Try to see if you have a chance to meet up with the entrepreneur and meet the advisory team, get some references that they can provide, and do your own market research on whether this idea will take off or whether the whole thing is legal.
Thanks for joining us. Next week, so long snake, hello horse. What feng shui's finest tell us about the year ahead. Bye-bye.